What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching a Ragin Ronin review. And I know I'm really late in doing this. We're well into 2018, but I still gotta do it. I apologize for not making this sooner, but let's get on to my top 10 films of 2017. We're gonna start off with number 10, and that's Molly's Game. Written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, starring Jessica Chastain. This is such a great film, such a great story. From beginning to end, it was engaging and entertaining, and Jessica Chastain's performance was so hypnotic to watch. Awesome film. Number 9, Baby Driver. I loved this film. Edgar Wright is a director that is so stylish. I mean, he gave us the Cornetto trilogy and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Baby Driver is no different. It's just so much fun, and like I said, really, really stylish, and he's just got some really likable characters in this film. Loved Baby Driver. Number 8, Patriots Day. Also based off of a true story. We got this film that is about the Boston Marathon bombing, directed by Peter Berg, starring Mark Wahlberg, and this film is just so intense. It is intense, and there's some really, really excellent performances in here, and the fact that it's based off a true story just makes you more engaged to how it all went down. So, what an excellent film. Very, very powerful and emotionally engaging. Number 7, Logan. Logan was really a step in the right direction for Fox. I mean, they gave us Deadpool. That's the first R-rated comic book film in the X-Men universe. And then Logan, and I just felt that they did Logan right. They did Wolverine right by making this film the way they did it. This edgy and gritty, more ultra-violent version of itself was exactly what the fans have been waiting for, and Logan ended up being such a triumphant film. Really loved it. Number 6, Thor Ragnarok. Oh man, this film was just, what a funny film. Probably the funniest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I always knew that the films from the Marvel Cinematic Universe has always been funny, but I gotta say that this film is the funniest, and because of that reason, I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun film, and very different from the previous MCU films. It had more of a Guardians of the Galaxy feel because it ventures out into the cosmic realm, and I think it's a breath of fresh air for another entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I loved it. Number 5, SpiderMan Homecoming. Now this is the 7th time actually, if you include Civil War, 7th time that we've seen Spider-Man on the big screen. But I gotta say that this film really, it's one of the better Spider-Man films. Well, I'm putting this at number 5 for my top 2017 films, mainly because it has to do with the fact that they really made a great villain. Spider-Man was awesome, played by Tom Holland, but I loved Michael Keaton as the villain, and I thought that he really changed the mold of the Marvel Cinematic Universe villain. I mean, a lot of the villains in the MCU are really, really weak. Michael Keaton's character really changes that, and I love that this is a Spider-Man story, but it's still set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though it can be its own very standalone Spider-Man story, but it's still very much connected with the MCU. So I loved how they did that, and I can't wait to see the next one. Number 4, War for the Planet of the Apes. This is the 3rd installment in the Planet of the Apes reboot, and I gotta say that War for the Planet of the Apes is the best one in the trilogy, more of an emotional story. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was more action-packed. This one has action, but it's more of an emotional story, and just the performances from all the apes, especially Andy Serkis as Caesar, was just, wow, just amazing. I'm surprised that they don't even have a category for these, motion capture CG characters, because Andy Serkis just does such a great performance as the CG character, Caesar, and this film was really driven by his amazing performance. So War for the Planet of the Apes is number 4. Number 3, Star Wars Episode 7, The Last Jedi. I saw this film 6 times in IMAX 3D. It was amazing. It just made me feel like a kid again. I had goosebumps all the way through, and man, it's an amazing film. I don't care what other people say about this film and all the negative reaction. This is the change that Star Wars needed, because they were starting to get more and more formulaic. I loved how this felt a lot very, very story driven, very character driven, and less about like just creating, you know, action scene after action scene after action scene. It was less about that, more about introducing new elements, story elements and visual elements into the Star Wars saga, and Rian Johnson did such a great job. Number 2, Dunkirk. I saw this movie 3 times in IMAX 3D, and Christopher Nolan once again just brings us another masterpiece. I mean, it feels like Christopher Nolan cannot do any wrong. It's just the way he tells a story. I mean, even though he's telling a true story of how everything went down, the way he tells it is just such a, you know, it's so unique and also very, very satisfying. Once you get to the very, very end of this film, it just feels like, wow, what a film. Like, what a film. Like, that was just absolutely incredible. The way it made you feel is just such an intense film, and it was everything from the acting, from the situations they were put in, and the music. It just all together as a package just made you feel like this is a very, very, very outstanding film. Number 1, Blade Runner 2049, another film that I saw 3 times, twice in IMAX 2D and once in 3D, and wow, this movie, directed by Denis Villeneuve, produced by Ridley Scott, wow, this film, like, I mean, I wish I could go watch it again in IMAX again, because this is a film that really brought you into the world. I mean, true world building, because they created a world, and all the little details and little elements just really brought you into this world that they created with so much attention, and it just felt, everything just felt so organic. As you were in the movie, you didn't question it. You just watched everything, and you were just, like, amazed by everything you saw. Like, I can't even describe it. It's just such an amazing film, and I think this film will go down as a classic because of how incredible it is. I don't even know how to describe it. And it wasn't about the performances, even though the performances I thought were great. It was just everything about it, just as a whole package, from the music to the set design, acting, and the concept, and everything about it just made this film so watchable. And I don't care that, you know, it was nearly 3 hours long. It was a film that really gave us a lot of information that I felt was truly relevant for such a deep story. So really, really awesome. I mean, I didn't even really like the first Blade Runner, but this Blade Runner really, really was an incredible film. And I love the fact that, you know, when you think of science fiction for this film, it's not like a science fiction action film. It's a detective film, which is set in a science fiction universe, and that in itself is very, very intriguing. So that is number 1. That is my top film of 2017. And you can see a pattern here where like the top 3 films actually are films I watched multiple times. However, I did watch Thor Ragnarok 3 times in IMAX 3D because that was just a really fun film, and I just wanted to recreate that experience again by watching it again. Now, I gotta give a couple of honorable mentions, and these are fantastic films, but they didn't end up in my top 10 list, but I do want to mention them. Lady Bird, Wonder Woman, Wind River, and The Big Sick. These are films that I thought were outstanding films, and they truly deserve to be mentioned. Anyways, that's all I got to say in this top 10 list. And you know, why don't you let me know what your top 5 or top 10 films are, if you can remember them, for 2017. Stay tuned for my next video, because I'm going to give you my top 10 worst films of 2017. Stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe to YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.